Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is. Hey guys, how you going? Okay, let's get into it. By the way, I've got a great thread to read on Rumble. My Monday, your Sunday, this week, next week, whatever you want to say. Okay, Drew Pavlou said, great leadership by Andrew Hasty MP. I'm an Australian and regular Australians are sick and tired of seeing these ancient hatreds spill out onto our streets. This is Australia. If you want to protest, do it in the Middle East, not in our iconic harbour bridge. Well said. Something different from one of our politicians. Now, we've got a couple of politicians that are okay here in Australia. Not many, but we've got a couple, and they're not the ones in charge right now. How about I start a GoFundMe? We'll send all of you to the Middle East to go and protest over there. How's that sound? Sounds good to me. Okay, Cat Turd said he was subpoenaed yesterday and this suddenly drops today. The Gateway pundit, Robert Mueller, living in a memory care facility. Yes, I'm sure. We were told that they would do this to get away with whatever they could when they were caught, that they might go into a care facility, claim, I don't remember, claim incompetence, like of your brain, you know, it's going, yeah, so they can't be held accountable. That's what they're trying to do. They don't want to be held accountable, so they're going with all this, oh, look, I'm living in a memory care facility now. I don't remember anything. It's an excuse. Lisa said Albanese insists federal public servants fly business class even for short flights. This is costing us tens of millions of dollars a year. Taxpayers are in an abusive financial relationship with the Champagne Socialist Labor Party. Public servants to be banned from free flight upgrades, but business class still a go. The Albanese government has knocked back a plan to force federal bureaucrats to fly economy on short flights, but has agreed to stop them accepting first-class flight upgrades. Yeah, right, like they're going to. Now we've got Trump on the climate hoax. Wide Awake Media said, we don't have a global warming problem and we've spent trillions and trillions of dollars putting windmills all over these magnificent plains and fields and valleys and oceans. It's all a big hoax, says Trump. Let's have a listen. Hang on a sec. Let me just get my output capture right.
We don't have a global warming problem. They don't use that term anymore anyway because, as you can see, the planet, it's very cool out here today, isn't it? Oh, they go crazy when I say it. But it's not global warming because at certain points it starts to cool a little bit, like now, but like this period. And they're getting killed with global, so they changed it. You know what the term is? Climate change. This way, if it gets warmer, it's fine. If it gets cooler, if it rains, if snow comes down in the middle of the summer, it's climate change, you know. And we've spent trillions and trillions of dollars on things that, you know, putting windmills all over these magnificent plains and fields and valleys and oceans. And then they had one whale in, I think, 50 years come up. And then last year, they had like 18 of them wash ashore, die. And it's all a big hoax. We don't have a global war.
Yeah, those windmills in the ocean, they kill animals as well, okay? Then we've got here in Australia, Senator Pauline Hanson. Stephen said Senator Pauline Hanson vows to ban immigration from countries that do not align with Australia's culture, values and laws. People who hate Australia are not welcome here. Do you feel the same? Because I do. I do. I've listened to this woman for years. Ready?
Our rights have been stripped from us. Our freedom of speech is being taken from us. And we're just being diminished as a people who we are, our pride in ourselves. This woke agenda has just gone too far. But the most important thing that we will face is about immigration. who we will eventually be seen as an Australian. Please consider what I have been saying. The people we allow into this country, how they come here and use our laws against us, the hatred that they bring, they're not adding to the country. We've seen the unrest on our streets, and this is because we have weak leaders in our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, and his ministers, and you'll see it from the other state premiers, did nothing about it to get to this stage. Strong leadership, strong policies will be the only way forward. With my immigration policy, stop people coming in from countries that have no compatibility with our culture, our way of life, our laws. Don't bring them in from these countries filled with hate. Bring back to temporary protection visas. Get rid of the 75,400 people that are here who've overstayed. They're not all on visas. Some of these came here as refugees on the boats or get off planes. These people have stayed. What have the government done about it? Absolutely nothing. We're in a housing crisis. We need people here that are going to enhance this country, and we have. The wonderful migrants that have come, a lot of these migrants are proud Australians. They've stood for me as candidates in my elections under the banner of One Nation. That's what we are, one nation. Why do we have to treat people totally different? Why do we head down this path? Why don't we have strong laws that says we're proud, we are Australian, fly the flag, be proud of a nation, who we are? But that never seems to happen. So at this next election, it is your choice. You mark the ballot paper. Stop asking where are my preferences going. Understand the system. You own your preferences. You alone will decide who will be the next government. Make sure you mark that ballot paper the right way.
This poor woman, she's been fighting so long, she's nearly got luggage under her eyes, not just bags under her eyes. God love her. Okay, I agree with her. I fully agree. I love it when immigrants, right, and you see like an Indian or a Chinese person, and they open their mouth and the Australian accent comes out and it's like, oh my goodness. And it's funny because I was watching shorts yesterday of someone talking Chinese and talking to Chinese people, and when she talked Chinese to these Chinese people, they were astounded, saying, you sound better than I do. Like your accent is better than mine is. Okay, Professor Rogers says, breaking news, video, Anthony Albanese's ministers who attended the March for Humanity protest were among those under investigation for serious crimes. At the same time, Albanese's personally reached out to the Palestinian leader who rewards the families of Hamas terrorists. Australians are absolutely repulsed by the Prime Minister's allegiance to terrorist states. Yeah, and they're trying to stifle our free speech. I wonder why. This will be the reason. They don't want to talk about immigration. They don't want you to talk about the government. I've been watching a lot of videos on the bans too. Cool-handled Luke said, we never interfere. China denies allegations of foreign interference after AFP charges Chinese national in Canberra over collecting information. Beijing has claimed it never interferes in other countries' internal affairs. In a wild denial of claims, it sent a spy to Australia after a Chinese foreign national was charged over foreign interference in Canberra. Where's Albanese to stick up for our Australian Federal Police? Hiding under his desk, away from his responsibilities to Australia. He will always stick up for the Chinese that love his weakness. Yeah, and why do we have Chinese police stations in Australia? I think they did interfere in our election, and I don't think he's meant to be Prime Minister. Look at the US. All you have to do is look at the US, look at your own country, and when you start asking, did you vote for Labor? And no one that you know ever voted for them, and people that they know didn't vote for them, there's a problem. Elon Musk said a few days ago a gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car at night in DC. The Doge team member, Big Balls, saw what was happening, ran to defend her and was severely beaten to the point of concussion. But he saved her. It's time to federalise DC. Crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. Local youths and gang members, some only 14, 15, 16 years old, are randomly attacking, mugging, maiming and shooting innocent citizens, at the same time knowing they'll be almost immediately released. They're not afraid of law enforcement because they know nothing ever happens to them. But it's going to happen now. The law in D.C. must be changed to prosecute these minors as adults and lock them up for a long time, starting at age 14. The most recent victim was beaten mercilessly by local thugs. Washington, D.C. must be safe, clean and beautiful for all Americans and importantly for the world to see. If D.C. doesn't get its act together and quickly, we'll have no choice but to take federal control of the city and run this city how it should be run, and put criminals on notice that they're not going to get away with it anymore. Perhaps it should have been done a long time ago, then this incredible young man and so many others would not have had to go through the horrors of violent crime. If this continues, I'm going to exert my powers and federalise this city. Make America great again. Go Trump. Melinda Richards said an Aboriginal group in Australia is taking legal action in an attempt to veto the proposed 63,000 seat stadium, oh my God, I can't talk, being built for the 2032 Olympic Games in Brisbane. This is the left turning on itself. The Yarra Magadinjan Aboriginal Corporation claim the site is significant to the Aboriginal community. I don't think so. This is the UN using puppets. Note the corporation in the name. It's a private company. They take extortion fees from developers. The one in Victoria is run by a former US Democrat who wasn't even born here, and these companies have nothing to do with Aborigines other than the name. Yeah, Aboriginal Corporation sounds like a money racket. It does, doesn't it? Yep, the Yagara Majindin Aboriginal Corporation. See? Yep, they're using puppets. Okay, Logan Weaver said there's an American family with 14 billionaires, more than any family on earth, and they control the entire global food supply. It's not the Waltons, it's not the Kochs. 99% of people have never heard their name. Here's how they become the richest invisible dynasty. Now, this is by Logan Weaver. I don't know who this is. Take it with a grain of salt. Meet the Cargill Macmillan family. Combined net worth, $65 billion. They own 88% of Cargill Inc., the largest private company in America. $177 billion in annual revenue. This is how it all started. It started in 1865 with William Wallace Cargill, just so you know, a 21-year-old from New York who saw opportunity in post-Civil War chaos. He opened a single grain storage facility in Iowa. His insight: control the storage, control the trade. But he had a bigger vision. By the 1870s, William brought his three brothers into the business. They weren't just storing grain anymore, they were buying it directly from struggling farmers at low prices, then shipping it via railroad to hungry cities at high prices. William's strategy was brilliant for him, yeah it was. While farmers competed against each other and drove prices down, he consolidated their grain. While cities competed for a limited supply and drove prices up, he controlled distribution. He positioned himself as the middleman in America's most essential trade. But William saw something even bigger coming. In the 1880s, he started buying flour mills, feed companies and processing plants. He wasn't just trading grain anymore, he was turning it into everything Americans need to eat. By the 1890s, Cargill was buying grain directly from farmers, then transporting it via railroad to cities, then processing it into food products, from farm to table, all under one roof. When William died in 1909, the business faced a crisis: massive debts, overextended operations. His son-in-law, John Macmillan Sr., took over a company on the brink of bankruptcy. Macmillan made this decision that changed everything. We stay private forever. Macmillan spent the 1910s restructuring and stabilising. By the 1920s, Cargill was expanding globally. During the Great Depression, while competitors failed, Cargill bought their assets for pennies. World War II was even better. They fed entire armies. The family kept expanding through the decades. 1940s, animal feed and soybean processing. 1960s, became a commodities trader. 1980s, bought meat processing plants. 2000s, acquired global food companies. Each generation found new ways to control more of the food chain. By staying private, they could make moves no public company could. Long-term investments without quarterly pressure, aggressive acquisitions without shareholder approval, global expansion without public scrutiny, family decisions made in boardrooms, not headlines. Today, Cargill owns more of your food than you realise. That McDonald's egg, Cargill supplies it. Your beef, pork, turkey, Cargill slaughters it. Your chocolate, salt, oil, Cargill refines it. They're in everything you consume. Their numbers? Absolutely insane. 155,000 employees worldwide, operations in 70 countries, control 22% of US beef production. Along with 3 other companies, they control 70 to 90% of global grain trade, yet most people couldn't name a single family member. The family split into 2 branches, Cargill's and Macmillan's. About 90 family members own the company, 14 of them are billionaires, more than any other family on earth. They built the ultimate invisible empire, controlling necessities while avoiding attention. The lesson, the most powerful families aren't the ones you see on magazine covers. They're the ones controlling what you can't live without. Whilst everyone watches the latest tech IPO, generational wealth is built by controlling everyday necessities. Smart money follows the same principle. Instead of chasing the latest trends, build wealth. Okay, that's an ad. Is it? Instead of chasing the latest trends, build wealth through consistent, systematic strategies. Focus on long-term growth, not short-term hype. Investors, okay, this does sound like an ad, okay? That's Logan Weaver, if you like this post, on X. Interesting. Daisy May, 4263, sat from high school to the Senate in just 3 years. Australia's youngest senator, jaw-dropping salary and perks revealed as her yearbook photo leaks. As a senator representing the good people of South Australia, Charlotte is on a whopping base salary of $239,270. From high school to the Senate in just 3 years. So she's like 21. She didn't even go to university or anything. That is crazy. Get them while they're young, Albo. Right Angle News Network said breaking Walmarts are now attempting to steal from customers by selling meat labelled many more pounds than what they actually are, with packs marked at over 6 pounds weighing barely 4. Okay, guys? Check your meat from now on. If you do buy from a company like this, check your meat. You're better off buying from a proper butcher. But if you do buy from these places, please check. Okay? Everything. Pre-packaged everything. Wall Street Ape said if you shop at Walmart, you might want to pay attention to this. American grabs 5-pound bags of potatoes right out of the bins, puts them on a scale, the weight is closer to 3 pounds. This isn't the only product I've seen this same type of inaccurate weight labelled at Walmart. Be careful, guys. Seriously, that's what I mean. Everything you buy. Should take your whole shopping trolley back to the vegetable aisle and start weighing everything. Look at what it says on the packet and weigh it. Okay, I had another, I swear I thought I had another thread in here. The Vigilant Citizen one. Okay, well, apparently I haven't. Let me just refresh to make sure. No, that's it. Wow, okay. Well, that's the news for today, guys. I thought I had a little bit more in there, probably to make it till about 30 minutes, but I haven't. So what I'll do is I'll be back tomorrow with a big stream. I hope you can join me then. I'll be back live. Okay, guys, have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.